Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the BigSin podcast. I'm your host Sinji, my co-host right here, Big Tone Son. And before we get on topic, I already want to stray off topic.
Okay.
We had a couple interesting conversations throughout the week that I want to share with the people, and because we have, what else are we doing here other than sharing conversations? So you guys aren't gonna see this for probably a while, if you guys see it at all. On my gaming channel, Sinfully Gaming, Sinfully Gaming, I have a video with Ray all day, a series, the Crash Bandicoot series, and I think it's the fifth part. On the fifth part, we get into like a music topic about like Justin Bieber and like, my roommate was basically calling him great. Ray was basically calling him a great artist, that he was a great person, blah blah blah, and like I was asking him. And I talked to Tone about this too. I was asking him, like, what makes him a great artist to you? Because to me, he's overrated. To me, he just has like a very committed fan base. But other than that, he just seems like an artist that capitalizes on controversy a lot. Every time like he puts out something, there seems to be something else in his life going on that's like newsworthy. So, my question for all of you who listens to this, comment in the comment section, leave down what your opinion is. Can you consider an artist to be great if that artist to you does not have an award worthy song? At least one. What was your thought on that again?
I don't think Justin Bieber is great.
But about the an artist being great.
I don't necessarily think awards. I don't think awards. What's the word I'm looking for? Cement you as a legend or as you being great.
There's plenty of great artists who haven't won any awards.
Yeah, like to me, a great artist is someone who can make timeless music, who not necessarily catchy, but you could say like 20, 30 years down the road, like you can play them, other generations be playing them songs and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and we got into that too, like what defines an artist as timeless, and like, again, that's, ignore the dryer. Again, hey, gotta wash clothes. Again, it's very highly opinion based, and like, there can be a lot of facts to that as well. So like, I was telling Tone at work, an artist can be timeless to a number of people and not be timeless to other people. If you're not into the music, then you will never want to hear it, right? But we have artists like, and I gave other genres, even though I mainly know hip hop artists, but like I gave artists like Justin Timberlake. I think you can throw Neo up there, Usher, Nas, Ice Cube, Jay-Z, Eminem. Those are all artists that, yeah, they have people who may not listen to them, don't like listening to them, but no matter what, they can put out an album today, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if they're still making music, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and those songs will be hits, that album will be popular, that album will sell, those songs will sell, and I guarantee you there's at least 2, 3, maybe 4 songs on each album that they'll play for generations to come. And therefore, they will technically be considered timeless artists. Now, whether they're timeless to you is a completely different matter. That being said, I personally think an artist themselves, to me, can't be a great artist if I don't think they have, from my personal opinion, an award-worthy song in their name.
I just don't think Justin Bieber's great.
Overrated.
I really don't think he's great. I think he came in and, he was a young kid, like 13, 14. Like, I don't really know how old he was. I can't really say I've ever followed his career like that, but, someone like that who comes in, girls his age, they're going to, they think, oh, he's singing to me and blah, 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 or they really do like the music, so then they wind up growing up with this guy. So of course, in their eyes, they're gonna think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know, I said I've heard a couple of his songs. Only one song I like of Justin Bieber, and that's "Sorry." I can't even tell you why I like that damn song. I do, but I just don't think he's great. I just think he's a pop artist who just, you know, found his lane and he kind of just went along with it. I mean, there's definitely growth in his music. You can definitely hear that he's grown, but I don't know. To me, he's not great. You know, his fans may think he's great. You know, I'm pretty sure there's people out there who think the Far Side is a lot of people say that's an obscure hip hop group, but I think the Far Side is great. I think in certain aspects they were ahead of their time. Their music videos were really creative. It was a different type of hip hop. It was almost like an alternative type of hip hop. You know, and I think they were a great group.
It's funny that you mentioned hip hop and like a lot of people not thinking someone's great. Like I was trying to think like, as you know, and anyone who listened to the first podcast, I am a huge Eminem fan, right? And now with all the controversy that's pretty much one-sided with Nick Cannon and Eminem, Nick Cannon is basically being a hypocrite right now because like he went on record calling M like one of the best, and now he's like trying to re take that back in a way and like say Eminem's only was only famous due to like controversial racism or something like that, and like he's really not that great, and he's a fucking punk or whatever, and like Nick Cannon has been making himself look like a damn fool lately.
When you have some of the greats like Snoop, Dre, Ice-T, like a lot of upper echelon hip hop guys saying that Eminem is great, I mean, you can't deny it. You know, I'm personally not a huge Eminem fan. I think after the Marshall Mathers LP, it kind of went downhill for me. But I mean, yeah, he's got a lot of cosigns from a lot of greats. You know, so I think when it comes down to who's the greatest, a lot of that can be opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but there's almost not to cut you off. Like, as fans, you know, as fans, we control how popular someone is, right? Mm-hmm. You know, we dictate like how successful they are, but a fan's opinion can only go so far, whereas another successful artist's opinion probably holds more weight. You know what I mean?
Sometimes, not all the times, and I mean, yeah, fans do dictate how popular someone is too, but you also have to chalk that up to radio and advertisement. Like, I remember back in the day, 2005, that song Laffy Taffy was always playing on the radio.
That girl shake that Laffy Taffy. That Laffy Taffy.
I hated that song. I did not like that song, and I don't understand why they kept playing that song on the radio.
Because all you need for a song to be the radio is a beat. It's not a beat. A catchy phrase that like it's easy rememberable.
Yeah, I mean, like you could look at songs like Lights, Camera, Action by Mr. Cheeks. That in 2001, that song was everywhere. It was even on one of those Now compilation CDs. That song was huge. Bone Crusher, Never Scared. Joe Budden's Pump It Up. Like,
you know what song was everywhere, dog?
What?
You know what song was everywhere? That dong da dong dong dong. Yo, that song got me
too.
That song got me in trouble in like pre-K, whatever grade I was.
That song was fucking huge. You know what I mean?
Shit put me on timeout.
But just because those songs were huge
doesn't mean they're great.
Does that make those songs great?
Nope. It was just different, capitalizing on its newness. Now, if you play that song now and you still bump to it like it just came out, then by all means, the song is timeless to you, but those songs ain't knocking right now, bro.
I will say I have been listening to Pump It Up a lot in my car. That shit still slaps.
Mm.
I mean, Pump It Up, that was another song that was everywhere. That was on video games. It was even in a NASCAR game. It was in movies. It was... Jay-Z did a remix to it. Like, that song was everywhere. It's a huge song.
Yo, I was listening to Justin Timberlake in my car the other day, and like "What Goes Around Comes Around" came on, and like yo, you get so into it, you even have to do the bitch voice with JT. You gotta go, "What goes around comes around," and you sing it terrible. You don't hear it over the music, but like if the music ever cuts and like you're singing, it's like, oh my god, that sounds terrible.
I will say this, yo. When I was in high school, like I thought a lot of the music that back then that was coming out, I thought majority of it was not good. Like I didn't like it. But looking back on all those songs that came out, they were, in my opinion, they you had some great sprinkled in there. But they were pretty good. I will say the one song that I hate to this day is Akon's "Locked Up." I don't like Akon's voice. I'm not saying he's not a great artist. I cannot stand his fucking
Locked up,
voice.
they won't let me.
And they
out.
played that song so goddamn much. It was, oh.
Did you like Topple?
Who?
Topple.
The fuck is
Akon
that?
Topple. I see you creeping, I can see it from my
Okay,
shadow.
I did like that. I did like that.
I like the remix with Eminem.
I actually prefer the remix with Eminem.
Yo. All right, so I think that was enough off topic. I think music is just such a great topic to get into. It's easy to get lost in like music.
Well, that's because music, a lot of times, well, I think anything that you talk about is always going to be opinionated based. You know, it all depends on, it all depends on that person's perspective. Like, I think country music is garbage. Don't get me wrong. There's maybe one country song I like, and that's Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. That's it.
I like some country. All right, so with country music, I like country music, but I don't like that. Driving my pickup truck through the mud with my sister in my passenger seat. I'm going. I don't like that kind of country music.
I said I think country music is fucking god awful.
But I've heard some country songs that I like. It is what it is. But perfect way to get back into our actual topic.
Hold on, sir. I'm not finished. We are not moving on from this.
Oh, we're not moving on for this.
Anyway, I said I think country music is terrible, but I know a lot of people that love it. I can't understand it. There's also a lot of people I know that don't like hip hop, and I don't understand why. Like, to me, hip hop has always been the ultimate art form of music because, well, that and like spoken word poetry, because a lot of people, majority of those people write their own stuff, and the way that a lot of hip hop artists, not necessarily a lot today, but back in the day, the metaphors, the similes, the double entendres, the way that you construct the bar, like it's like that stuff is impressive.
It's so hard, and that's coming from someone who writes himself. Like my uncle used to tell me, probably still tell me if we talk about it to this day, like I should just be a ghostwriter because I like writing, but like it's hard, especially now with all the recording that I'm doing, like the podcast, the gaming channel. Guys, I'm putting up like 2 videos a day, every day on the gaming channel. And like it's hard to find time to even like do things like write music and things like that. But like there's it's hard, but it's so satisfying to do when like you can take 2 words that you want to throw in together and like make a sentence go together. Like I'm sure like if we had Sean in here, he would agree that like it's so satisfying to like make that flow, make it understandable, and like throw in a metaphor that like will hit you different, things like that. So like hip hop is, to your credit, or to what you give credit to what you were saying, is the best form of music for that, because you don't really need to rhyme or use metaphors and things like that in other styles of music as much as you do in hip hop.
Yeah, no doubt. But like I was saying, you know, there's a lot of people who will look at hip hop and say, no, it's just a bunch of loud music, and you can't take away from other genres either, like pop. Like, you know, there's a lot of motherfuckers out there that just want to be happy. They want to hear happy shit. So, you know, pop music kind of takes that spot. You know, the more aggressive type of music, like hip hop and punk and rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like, look, don't get me wrong. Like when I was growing up,
That's why those genres have like levels of their genre. Like you know, rock has like soft rock or hard rock, metal, things like that. Hip hop also has its brackets of music. You know what I mean?
But a lot of times that also kind of hurts the music as well once you start breaking it down into different type of subgenres instead of just kind of linking it all into one. You know what I mean? Like soft rock, you can even put that in alternative music. You know what I mean? Instead of having to be a subgenre of rock and roll. I know country music has like bluegrass country and some other type of stuff too. Uh, I mean, I don't, as of today, me being 33 years old, I mainly just listen to hip hop. I listen to R&B. I listen to soul, and I listen to a lot of the stuff I used to listen to back in the day. Like I said in the first podcast, me and my boy Sean Harris, we used to listen to Nirvana, Genesis, Phil Collins, Jim Block. I used to listen to all that shit. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of that new shit out today, but coming up, it was always, I was always told, you're black, hip hop and R&B. That's where it stops.
Soul music.
But then you listen to artists speak like Scarface, who loves country music, who gets inspiration from those type of people. Or then you'll hear if you look at linear notes in albums like we used to back in the day, you'll see Ice Cube has well, not necessarily Ice Cube, but Sir Jinx, who was his producer, one of his main producers. They would take songs from like Steely Dan, Warren G, what the hell's his name? The Regulator song. I forgot the guy. It's Michael something, Michael something. But they pull from different genres of music. So the older I got, I was like, yeah, I definitely could have listened to everything. And which ultimately I did, but nowadays it's just I'm kind of just set in my ways,
Okay. I mean, I nowadays hip hop is like really transitioning. A lot of artists are using female artists in like the pop world and like to sing their chorus.
Yeah.
And I think if the song flows well, I think it's like really genius. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes artists don't come up with a good enough chorus. It's just like they're saying the same thing over and over again. It's just like I'm a thug, I'm a thug, I'm a thug, I'm a thug, like 20 fucking times, and then they go back to rapping. It's just like,
you want to know the greatest chorus ever? It's Noriega's Super Thug, where he's literally just saying "what" the whole time, and then he'll sneak in a Super Thug. It's one of the greatest choruses ever.
Nah, but like, yeah, I just think music is really in depth, and like again, leave in the comment section what you feel to you personally as a great artist, and we'll read in the comments next week what you guys have said if anyone leaves down. But
yeah, basically, like I said, everything you do in life is based on opinions. Everything is opinionated. Like personally, me, I feel like the best type of therapy is jumping on my motorcycle and going for a ride. A lot of people don't think that. They think that getting on a motorcycle is just adds more to the stress because, there is that chance of getting hit by a car and getting seriously hurt or even killed. But to me, it doesn't cross my mind every now and then. But for me, it's a great way to just kind of get lost in your thoughts and to clear your head. And when that weight of the world is on my shoulders, I'm jumping on my bike and going for a ride for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm good.
We know you're an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, well, not really. I'm scared to death of heights and roller coasters.
Yo, come on, man. You gotta come to like Six Flags with us one day.
Absolutely not.
Come on.
Moving on.
Face your fears.
Nope.
So games.
Games, sir.
Games. We have a special guest, Mario. It's because the only thing I really had in here that like resembled a gaming topic. And just so you guys know, Simply Gaming just put out a God of War gameplay. Give it a shameless plug. Check it out. Whatever. If you want. How do you want to kick this off? Let's kick this off with a hot topic. Speaking of, all right, God of War. Let's do God of War. I just mentioned God of War.
Or how about this? How about we talk about our foray into gaming? Like, how'd you get into gaming?
How to get into gaming?
Yes.
How'd you get into gaming?
Very young age. I'm 33, so Back in 1990, I was eight. Yeah, back in 1990, 1991, I was 91. I was 5 years old, and the first console I ever had was a Nintendo. Technically, it wasn't mine; it was my father's. So the only time I got to play it is when I went to my dad's house until my mom bought me my own. But back in the day, I would say from the time I got my first console up until I graduated high school, I was more of a casual gamer. You know, my era growing up, we played outside all day, all night. That's just what we did. We played outside. Once I got to that age where I could basically go anywhere I wanted to in my city, I was never home. Never home. Because I prefer to play football, basketball, baseball. We even played soccer. I prefer to be outside. The only time we ever gamed is, you know, you go to one of your homies' house, or one of the homies come to your house. Oh, you got this? Yo, let's play this for a couple hours. So we do that. Yeah, I was more of a casual gamer. It wasn't until I graduated high school where, you know, I didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
I had nothing going for me. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to go away for college. But my senior year in high school, that's when I met my now wife. And I asked her, you know, I said, yo, I'm thinking about going to Wesley College down in Delaware. I was like, do you think we would be able to work out? And she goes, I don't think it would work. So I said, well, you know what? I really want to give this a shot with her. So I decided not to go, and I stayed home.
Wow.
I did have the option of going to culinary arts school at Atlantic County Community College, and that college, even though it's a community college, has one of the best culinary arts programs around. It's one of the best, highly rated. You know, I didn't know anything about financial aid. I didn't have the money to go, so that ultimately got scrapped. So me living at my grandmother's house, not having a job, not having a car. Back then I was having legal troubles because I was riding dirty, not drugs or anything, but suspended license, suspended registration, no insurance on a car. I was basically sat my ass down. So that's kind of just where I started to, with nothing to do, I just would play video games all day just to pass the time. So that's like basically how I started really getting into it. So like, you know, my wife, she was in cosmetology school. My friends all had jobs. They were all in college. So when I had nothing to do, fuck it, I'm just gonna play this shit. And I want to say probably like a year after that, when I started working at one of the casinos in Atlantic City. And, you know, I started going on a regular basis, buying video games and shit. And back then, GameStop, you go and sign up for like their members card or whatever. And you got Game Informer magazines. Well, I started getting them. Started reading I used to read that damn thing from front to back. And ever since then, I've just been hooked.
Alright, so for me, I still grew up in the era where like you can go outside and like spend hours and hours and hours out there with like the neighborhood kids and play until like the street lights came on. And like usually when the street lights came on, it was like, all right, you need to get your ass inside the house. You've been out there too long. So but games have always been a part of my life. I remember the first game my uncle gave me. You know my uncle, Ed. Shout out to my uncle. He actually brought me down south. But I remember the first game he got me. It was Spyro. It was a Spyro game. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Year of the Dragon. So that would be the third one that capped off the series before the PlayStation 2 came out. So I believe it was Year of the Dragon. And yeah, like games have always been like a part of my life. But like when I lived with my grandmother, I was outside almost every single chance I could be. So I don't think games really took a shape of importance in my life until I moved in with my mother. Because at the time she lived at what we considered the most dangerous hood in the city. So like And my first day there, I shit you not, I heard gunshots, and like it was like almost once a day, pretty much almost every day. So I wasn't outside much. So like that really, and plus I was also living. I went from like being the youngest in the house to like the oldest in the house, because now I'm not with my grandmother and my aunts. I'm with my mother and my sisters, and my sisters were all younger than me. So like I'm helping raise my sisters, and get the house clean, make sure they do their homework, blah blah blah, do big brother stuff. So, and as about as stressful that is for like a kid growing up, my escape from that was video games. At that point, I couldn't really go out. I didn't feel comfortable going outside, so I played games. I would play Need for Speed. I'd play Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi. I'd play things like that. I'd play almost anything and everything. Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, whenever. If it's a game, I'm willing to play it. And I think it was more so like, it was just fun being able to experience a world different from your own for the time being. You know what I mean? So like, eventually I got to high school, and like the only college I was ever really interested was Full Sail University. You guys probably heard of it. It's like big on gaming and arts, like music, art, gaming, things like that. And I was actually curious in like making my own games, seeing if I can do it. Like I never did it because like my mom didn't want me to move to Florida, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do college then. Like, and I ended up doing college, but I dropped out anyway. Thanks, mom. College debt. But now, like, gaming is so big in my life that, like, I started a gaming channel. I see all these YouTubers, they play games that they like to play, and they're making money off it. And I was like, if I'm going to play games for a certain amount of time anyway, why not record it and see if it can take me somewhere better where, like, I can make money off it too. And then, like, just, like, capitalize and do something that I love doing. Because, like, I have a good job right now, but, like, to get paid to do something you love to do, like, I think that's something everyone wants to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I also started this podcast because, like, it's cool to gather up a group of your friends and just talk about shit that, like, in the long run probably is not important, but, like, you get so into it, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're just talking, you're chilling, and, like, that's what we're trying to do here. That's why I asked Tone, when I asked him, I was like, yo, you want to start a podcast? And, that's how that came about. So now I'm doing the gaming thing. I'm trying to get down editing and things like that. And gaming has really become a big part of my life, to where, like, my gaming name became my screen name. It's like Sinji was my Xbox 360 name. I remember it exactly. It was Classy Sinji. And I would do the thing where, like, I would make up a new email to get that free month, and Sinji was always in it.
Yeah.
So, like, eventually it just stuck. And, like, when I transitioned to PlayStation, I only got an Xbox because my mom liked the idea of the Xbox motion thing, the Kinect, the Kinect. Mind you, once she bought it, didn't buy a fucking game for it.
Yo.
Didn't buy a fucking game for it. I went like a year just playing some Tetris knockoff.
Let me tell you something, man. When I first got when I got a Sega Genesis, it wasn't it wasn't the longer one. It was a smaller one, right?
Mm-hmm.
It came with 5 games. It came with like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, some Disney game, and I don't even remember it was some X-Men game. I don't even remember what the hell it was. Those were the only games I had. My mom wasn't buying me no games. My dad wasn't buying me no games. I really didn't even ask, to be honest with you.
Bruh, but imagine just playing Tetris for a year.
I can only imagine.
Tetris, bro. So, you know how dedicated and bored you need to be to try to get the highest score in Tetris every fucking time? It wasn't even Tetris. Alright, so like it was this thing. It was like, I think it was called Hex, right?
Yeah, it came with it.
It came with a fucking Xbox, right? And the idea of this game is, like, you get, like, I think, like, 6 of a color, and it makes, like, something in the middle. And then you try to get, like, you have to do that 6 times to create that thing in the middle and create something else. So your goal was to, like, just keep creating the stuff and, like, advancing the score this was my life. This was my life until like one day my boy Ali Anque, shout out to Ali. He actually is a game developer. He's doing big things. Got a kid, whatnot. I'm gonna tag you in this. You better watch it, you fucker. He gave me what was it? I think it was Red Faction. Red Faction.
Yeah, I remember that game.
I think it was Red Faction 2, and I had fun with it. It was a good game. He gave me Red Faction 2, and like eventually my birthday came along. My mom got me another game. I think my first actual game that my mom got me was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Now, I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. That I haven't been into a Call of Duty game until we started playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm.
But any other Call of Duty before that, I was just like, this isn't fun anymore. Because it's the only game I was playing for like a year until like my birthday or Christmas came around again.
Yeah. So now, when I was coming up, I said all my uncles, my dad, they were all in the games. So like, I remember, you know what? I'm not gonna put my dad's business out there like that. So there was a time where it was me, my dad, and his cousin, who I consider my uncle, Dino, rest in peace. We my cousin Dean or my uncle Dean would have his Xbox or whatever set up downstairs. Then I would have my PlayStation 2 set upstairs. So whenever like my uncle would come visit from Alaska, my cousin Jarvis would come from down south, we would have like tournaments, right? So we used to call my uncle Dino the beat up stick, because you would go downstairs and warm up by beating the shit out of him, and then you go upstairs and you face the real competition. So that's basically what it was. We would just, whoever lost, he had to either take that walk upstairs or take that walk downstairs. That's how we did it. And we would do that for fucking hours upon hours upon hours. That shit was fun as hell.
Yo, it's so, like, it was so fun just playing things like that. Like, I remember when my father started being a bigger part of my life, and I met my other sister, who is also younger than me. I'm the oldest, guys. I'm the oldest of 4 fucking girls. But,
well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm technically a middle child. Because my dad had a daughter before me who I've never met and only talked to once on the phone. Then it's me and it's my younger sister.
I'm curious why that would make me feel better, though.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Like, I am the oldest. I am responsible for these little devils.
You know what? I don't really feel bad that you were the oldest. Continue, so.
Damn.
Because technically, in my household, I was the oldest.
Hey, man.
But I only had one person to look after. I didn't have 4.
I had 3.
I
raised my baby sister, man.
Yeah.
My other 2 sisters, Kayla and Kayleen, bro. All right. So, my dad had a PlayStation 2. Yeah, he had a PlayStation 2 because me and my sister, we were playing Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for a while, trying to get through that hard game towards the end. That tournament in the end with Shao Kahn, I think the guy with the mask and the hammer. Yo, he's fucking cheap as hell, dog.
I don't know if I ever played that one.
Yo, you gotta play it.
I'm not going back now.
It might PlayStation 5 might do a backwards. Hey, if they do it and like they do it online, we'll play it together. And yeah, I get to be Kung Lao though.
I'm probably not gonna play. Yeah, right. Well, Liu Kang, baby, all day.
Yeah, I get to be Kung Lao. They have like fatalities, brutalities, and mortalities, things like that. It's cool. It's a good game. It's a really good game.
Also, not to cut you off. Also, when I was coming up, even if you had consoles at home, in the town I lived in, we had 4 different arcades. We had one on 6th Street, one on 8th Street, one on 10th, and one on 12th. And even though if you had a console at home, we still religiously went to the arcade.
It's because it was a white area, bro. I know. I've been there. I've seen them.
Like back then, Mortal Kombat 2 was the shit. There would literally be people lined up to play those games. It was insane how packed those arcades used to be. My favorite game in the arcade was X-Men, The Simpsons, and The Punisher game. I love those 3 games, man. I still enjoy going to the arcade. I don't go a lot. I do every once in a blue moon take my son.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah,
I like Dave and Buster's.
I hate Dave and Buster's.
I don't know why.
I hate those fucking games up there.
Yo, but like Dave and Buster's is good for like it's rewarding. It's highly rewarding compared to Chuck E. Cheese, bro. Chuck E. Cheese. You fucking play Wheel of Fortune on a fucking Dave and Buster's, you can get like 400, 500, 600, 1,000 tickets. You play Wheel of Fortune on Chuck E. Cheese, you hit 1,000, you get 4.
Yeah, you can win those type of tickets once in a blue moon.
No, yo, you want to hear a funny story? All right, so my first official girlfriend, and by official I mean the first one I had to tell my mom about because her mom wouldn't let me date her unless she met my mom and met me. So that was the first official girlfriend. My mom still likes her to this day. Shout out to Justina Lopez. She's doing good in life. Hope she still continues to do good. She's a good girl. Her mom took us to Dave and Buster's in New York. And there is this machine there that's still there where like you gotta press a button and stop in the middle line and like it racks up on the tickets every time someone misses.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
It's almost like a progressive machine.
Yeah.
Like they have in the casino.
Yeah, she was doing it. I was like, come on, man. You stop playing. She's like, you so good. You do it. You know what I did, bro? I hit that shit with my eyes closed.
Did you really?
I hit it with my eyes closed. Couldn't do it again, though.
That's what's up.
Couldn't do it again.
That's what's up.
Mad as hell. Mad as hell.
The only thing I play when I go to Dave and Buster's, I play the basketball game, where you take the ball and shoot in the hoop, and it's usually never successful because I have a high arcing shot.
Mm-hmm. And you hit the thing and it just comes straight down.
Yeah, it just comes straight down, and I can't. It's tough. I've been shooting like that since I first learned how to shoot. I've always had a high arcing shot.
You ever did the thing where like I see people do it when I go there? They take the balls from the next machine so they have more shots.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've never done that. With Dave and Buster's, we go to in Philly. They have more than enough basketballs. But because when I was a kid, I didn't know how to dribble or that, and a lot of shots that I take even today, or I'm retired now, but that I used to take, they were all contested shots. And mind you, I'm only 6'3". So in high school, when I played high school ball, I played a center all 4 years. So I'm going up against dudes that are 4, 5, 6, 7 inches taller than me. So I had to develop my shot to where it was high arcing to get it over them. So that's why today I just have a high arcing shot. And even when you play the little kid basketball games, I suck because it's always going to hit the top of the cage.
Yo, you know what's funny though? Like, you're 6'3", right? And like you look so much bigger than me, but like a point guard can be 6'3", dog.
Yeah.
A fucking point guard.
If you look,
that's not even a big player on the team.
If you look
goodness.
at it, I'm the same height as Stephen Curry.
Yes.
I'm the same.
This is how you know I'm not cut out for basketball.
Hey, well, man. Actually, you know what? Speaking of which,
I'd probably get a better deal than Isaiah Thomas though.
Speaking of which,
shots.
Yeah, gaming was just really never like. I mean, like I said, I always had consoles, but I always just was planning on staying that casual gamer. Like my plan was to try to play basketball in college, even if it was at the community level, and then see if I could make my bones across seas. That's what I wanted to do. But once I was going in my senior year, I put on like maybe 20, 30 pounds of muscle, and I wound up getting tendonitis in my right knee, and my left knee. And back in high school, I was a dunker, so once I got that injury, I couldn't dunk anymore.
Have to change up the game.
I couldn't dunk, so that was like my whole game. Like, I mean, I had a little mid-range jumper, but that was it. I got tendonitis in my knee. My doctor told me because I was overweight. I weighed like 215. Going in, after my junior year, I weighed like 175, 180 pounds. So I put on like 30 pounds of muscle. I got up to 210. My doctor said that I was overweight. So I pushed myself to lose that weight, thinking that if I lost the weight, my knee would get better. And I wound up messing up my other knee, so I had tendonitis in both my knees. So that, I was just like, well, my basketball playing days are done. My career is done. There is no college basketball in my future. There is no playing across seas in my future. So I said, when I graduated high school, it was just like I had no backup plan. So like I said, I started gaming hard, just going hard. Like back then, I played Madden 2005, the year they introduced the hit stick. I played that so fucking much. So much.
Always missed.
It was Madden 2005 and it was NBA Live 2004. Like back in the day, it was always about sports games because my dad, my dad's a sports guy. My uncles were sports guys, so we always played Madden, Arnold Palmer golf, basketball. I can't tell you how many times me and my dad went up against each other in NBA Action '96 on the Sega Saturn. And he beat my ass every single time. So it was absolutely satisfying that finally in NBA Live 2004, I was whooping his ass. He could not keep up with me. Even when the motherfucker would make a creative character, he'd score like 50, 60 points. That don't mean shit. I'm still busting your ass, Pops. Shout out.
Alright, well, we gotta wrap up this part. And when we come back, next part, whether it releases the day after or in 2 days, we'll talk about memorable games.
Got a lot.
Got a lot. All right, so stay tuned for part 2, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, share us. See you.